Let's be real for a second. If you're managing multiple social media accounts, you're basically sitting on a digital time bomb. Just one wrong move, one tiny accidental link between clients, and poof, you could be facing a platform ban. So, in this explainer, we're going to show you how to defuse that bomb and scale your operations safely as we head into 2025. So, here's a question that probably keeps social media managers up at night. While you're juggling all those accounts for different clients or brands, are you absolutely sure you're not accidentally tripping some invisible tripwires? Because the scary part is these platform defenses are designed to be hidden, and you won't even know you've set them off until it's way too late. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to navigate the multi-account minefield and see where the real dangers are. Then, we'll cover the core principles you need for safety. After that, I'll introduce you to a game-changing tool, give you a secure launch plan, and finally, we'll look at some real-world success stories. All right, let's step right into that minefield. The real danger here isn't one big, catastrophic mistake. Nope, it's more like death by a thousand cuts. It's all the small, subtle ways your accounts can overlap, the very things that platform algorithms are now specifically designed to hunt down. These right here, these are the tripwires. First, you've got cookie cross-contamination. That's when data from one client's account just kind of leaks over to another one in your browser. Then there's fingerprint or IP overlap, where platforms see that all your accounts are coming from the exact same device. Huge red flag. Aggressive automation makes you look like a bot. Policy drift is when the rules change without you noticing. And credential sprawl, that shared password spreadsheet, that's just a total security nightmare. Any one of these is a problem, put them together, and you're asking for a ban. And this quote just perfectly sums it all up. Yesterday's workflow can become today's violation. Think about it. That script that saved you a ton of time last month could be the very thing that gets you flagged tomorrow. The platforms are always changing the rules. Staying safe means you have to stay ahead of the game. Okay, so we've seen the dangers. We've mapped out the minefield. Now let's talk about how to build a fortress to protect yourself. These are the core principles that are going to be the foundation for a truly secure marketing operation. Your number one defense, and this is the big one, is session isolation. I want you to think of it like building a digital firewall between each and every account you manage. It's like putting each one in its own separate soundproof room. When account A's data can't possibly touch account B's data, you've basically neutralized the biggest reason platforms link accounts together. Now, building on that, you also need diversification. See, it's not enough to just keep your accounts in separate rooms. You need to make them look like they live in totally different houses. This means giving each account its own unique digital fingerprint, that's its device profile, and its own separate IP address. The goal is to make every single account look like it's being run by a different person on a different computer in a different part of the world. And finally, you gotta have smart management. Yeah, use automation, but do it within the platform's limits so you don't look spammy. Document your strategy so everyone on your team is on the same page. And this one is huge. Share access with your team through role-based sharing, not by giving out passwords. It is a massive security upgrade, and it gives you total control. Okay, so we know what we need to do. Isolate sessions, diversify fingerprints. But the big question is, how? Do you actually pull all of this off without becoming a cybersecurity expert? Well, that brings us to a really powerful category of tool that was built for this exact problem. I want you to meet the cloud browser. The concept is actually really simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of running on your computer, the browser session runs on a remote server, out in the cloud. Each tab you open is a completely separate, sandboxed world. What this means is your own computer's fingerprint and your IP address are never, ever exposed to the platform. And this chart right here shows the difference crystal clear. On the left, that's the old way, shared data, a single IP, leaving a messy trail of digital breadcrumbs for platforms to follow. But on the right, that's the new way. Every single session is isolated with its own unique IP. The risk of getting caught just plummets because you're not leaving those accidental connections all over the place. So let's look at the key features that make this work. Session isolation is built right in. It's not an add-on. You can easily assign a unique proxy IP to every single account. Nothing ever touches your local device. And for your team, sharing a live session instead of a password, well, it's not just easier, it's a massive leap forward for your security and control. Okay, let's get practical. Let's make this real. Here is a straightforward 6-step playbook for launching your campaigns securely using all these ideas. This is your action plan.
All right, let's walk through this playbook together. Step 1. Isolate. Simple. Create one dedicated browser tab for each client or brand. No cheating. This is your foundation. Step 2. Assign proxies. Give each of those tabs its own unique IP address so they all look completely independent. Steps 3 and 4 are all about team security. Set timers so access expires when a task is done, and share the live session with your team, never ever the password. Step 5 is so important. Vary your posting. If you post the exact same thing to 10 accounts at the exact same time, you're basically holding up a giant sign that says, "I'm a bot." And finally, step 6, dispose. When you're done, close the session completely and rotate your proxies. Keep your footprint clean. So, theory is great, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Who is really using this approach to grow their business safely and effectively? Let's dive into some use cases. As you can see, this is a super versatile solution. For marketers, this is a lifesaver. You can keep all of your client ad accounts completely separate and compliant, so a problem with client A will never spill over and affect client B. E-commerce sellers can run multiple storefronts without worrying about platforms linking them together. And SEO pros can cleanly check search rankings from different countries without any issues. It really solves a core problem for anyone who operates at scale online. Okay, as we start to wrap this up, if there's one thing I really want you to take away from all this, it's this. In 2025, having amazing content is still absolutely crucial, but it's just not enough anymore. Your operational security, the how behind what you do, is now just as critical to your success as the content itself. So here are the key actions to remember. The habits you should start building right now. Run every single login in a fully isolated tab. Use proxies for anonymity. Share live sessions with your team, not passwords. I can't say that enough. Keep your own computer safe by working in the cloud. It's all about building a workflow that is secure by its very design. And that brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. As you plan for growth in the year ahead, take a good, hard look at your current workflows. Are they really built on a foundation of security and isolation, or are you just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping for the best? It's something to really think about. Thanks for joining me.